Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. I am so excited because we finally got the collection from Colourpop, the Twilight collection. I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts, but so far so good. We're hoping. So let's go over what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Natasha Denona concealer and foundation. I'm still working on that foundation. I have thoughts on that too. Because y'all know how I love my Bare Mineral Pro powdered foundation. Chef's kiss. This is different though. This is definitely different than that. But it's still good. It's still good. Like if you are thinking about it, it is good. So keep that in mind. I just don't have a whole, like, I'm not 100% yet. You know what I mean? But for me to give a thought, like it's great or who's it for type of thing, you know? In my opinion, that is, because who am I, you know? But anyway, we got the Colourpop collection. I didn't get the full collection. I got the Twilight palette and 2 Super Shock shadows. I got Meadow and Vampire Skin. I am wearing Vampire Skin today. It's icy. It's an icy color. So it definitely works though. It's for now, so that's a plus. I do like the Super Shock shadows, whether it be the eyeshadows, the blush, the highlighters. Like, I've not tried the bronzers. I know, I need to get on the ball. But I do like, that formula. It is a scene from outer space type of formula. You can definitely, you can tone it down some. But for the most part, it is very out there. And I've really, truly been loving the Natasha Denona highlighter personally, so this is kind of similar, not exact, similar to color, but there's so many similar to colors out there. It's not quite the color, it's the formula that is so good on the Natasha Denona, highlighters, but that's neither here nor there. So that is what I'm wearing on my face. I set my under eyes with the Givenchy powder in 2 Satin Blanc, I believe is how you say it. And then for bronzer, I am wearing my Hourglass bronzer in Golden Bronze Light. This one right here. And for blush, I'm wearing the blush Lucid Glow. No, Infinite Flush. This one right here. So I do like this color. It's very natural almost, to be honest. Like if my cheeks were going to turn a color, this is kind of the color they turn, just naturally. But I have been loving these. They launched their new Hourglass palettes, and I am so thinking about getting them, but they're $90 each. And I'm like, do I need them? Plus, there's repeat colors in them. I'm like, why would you do that? That irritates me a little bit. But let's get into this palette, because this is where the fun is to begin with. And it is based off of the film, obviously. And it is interesting and boring at the same time. Okay? So if you're a neutral lover, you're going to like it. But if you're dipping your toe into color, you might like this. And here is why. Everybody knows blues and greens were not my colors. Blues are now. I love me a blue. It just has to be built a certain way. This builds it a certain way, right? You have a brown, a contour brown type shade, and then a darker brown, right? So I do love that. You have this I'd say this is like a mid-tone blue, but no darker blue. So that kind of threw me there for a minute. Because you have this green, and then you have this like greeny brown type of shade, I guess. I don't know what you would call that green. But then you have the metallic green. Now you have this metallic, or it's really not metallic. It's more, I don't know what you would call it. But it's like the glitter, I think is what that is up there. Blue, silver type of shade, which is what I'm wearing on the lid right now. But I wish that did have a darker blue. As far as the greens, you got this green, and then this over here is like a darker green to build. So you could easily use that for the crease, that darken it up, and that for the lid, right? So, I mean, I just wish in a way there was a darker blue, but I don't need it to create the look that I like, because this is the look that I like. I am curious on playing with the greens, because y'all know I don't like a green. Still haven't found a really pretty green look that looks good on me. But let's get started. We're going to go into Say It Out Loud. Say It Out Loud, which is this shade here. We're going to start with it. I think this is a really good contour color for me, personally. Is it? I don't know. Like, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm just a consumer, you know? But I do think, like, the color story makes sense. I don't know who needed it, because, I mean, like, I have the Chucky palette, which is kind of these colors minus the greens. But then I do have the Jason palette, which gives me the greens, a little bit of the blue, but mostly green, if I'm thinking correctly. I don't know. Sometimes these palettes all run the same to me, to be fair, because there's just so many, especially through Glamlight at that time, that was launching back to back to back, that I'm like, what was what? I don't even know. But this palette, I mean, for the price point and the fact that it is attached to something, to Twilight, it's not bad. I am curious on how these two feel about their picture being in a palette, though. That does kind of, I find a little interesting. I mean, granted, it's just a movie, but still, the fact that they did one state, I'm curious. Like, I wouldn't want that, like, thrown in every. And not to say, you know, I'm just saying, if I wouldn't want my pictures with my exes being thrown. But, you know, hey, to each their own. We're going to go into Bella next. And I will say these shades build beautifully. I mean, Colourpop usually does. Can't deny that. Their shadows perform pretty well. I'm not a big glitter fan. I am glad they changed the formula of their glitters, because they were awful, you know, back in the day. So they are better. They're still not my favorite, but I will say that so far it is holding pretty well. So that's a good sign for me. Because, you know, there's certain things that I'm willing to have the fallout for any day of the week. Give me a Pat McGrath. Give it to me. At the end of the 6-hour mark, I'll take it. But it looks so darn good until then. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that are worth the chance, I guess you could say. But then there's certain things that isn't, you know? Colourpop just isn't worth my chance. I'm sorry. It just isn't. But, holding up pretty darn good right now, let me tell you. And the fallout I did get when applying wiped away really, really good. Like, there's a little bit of speck right here, but I'm not so sure that's the lid shade or if it is the inner corner, to be fair. But they're blending nicely into one another. They're building nicely. There's no patchiness. I'm using my BK Beauty brushes. I mean, it all, you know, it looks really good. My fiance really loved the way the look turned out. I do too. And I was kind of worried, I won't lie. Not because, I mean, I knew what the palette looked like. Obviously, it's been re-released 3 times now. We're going to go into Irrevocably. This shade, this blue, just to bring the blue tone in a little bit. It's been re-released twice now because it keeps selling out. So the first time, didn't even have a chance. Was I going to purchase it? I was. But apparently not that much, because, to be fair, it wasn't like I was logged in and ready to go. It wasn't until it had already sold out that I was like, oh yeah. So that says something, you know. Second time it came out, it lasted a little longer. Still, I didn't get it. It wasn't until the 3rd time. So I will say, you know, it wasn't that high on my list to get. And probably because, like I said, I have these colors in the Glamlight formula. But I will say, I love Glam Light's formula, I do, but they are quite pigmented, and you do have to be careful. So there's that. With Colourpop, you can go, it's like hourglass bronzers. You can go in and not have to worry. You can have a heavy hand, you can do whatever you want. It's going to work, you know? Now, Glam Light's a little different, but that's okay, you know? If you know their formula, that's okay. Just go in with a light hand, and you will be fine, and that look will turn out amazing. But flip side, maybe you don't want to take your time. Maybe you just want to go in and hurry up and create a look. Maybe you resonate with the Twilight, you know. We're going to go into Immortal now, and I'm going to pick it up on my Angie A505 brush, the BK Beauty collab they did, and we're going to pick it up, and I'm really going to make sure it's on the brush so it doesn't go all over my face. And we are going to pat very easily. No sudden moves. And we're going to lay it on the lid. If you go in easy, you're not going to get that much fallout. Now you could lay a glitter glue. You can also use your finger. But I prefer using, especially like a flat brush, and this brush is really nice for this sort of stuff too. Lay it down, because it kind of does stick to the brush for the most part, and if you just go about it slowly and patting and moving a little bit, you gotta, you know, move it around a little bit, but just go very soft, you're gonna be just fine. And then before you go in with if you're going to go in with a second layer, tap the brush off, but go ahead and clean up under your eye. Unless you haven't done your base makeup, then it don't matter. But go ahead and clean up under your eye so that you're not wiping a bunch away at a time. You know what I mean? I have dry skin right here for some reason. But look, it wiped right away. Oh, hold on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I got most of it gone. Now, before I go in, though, with a second look, okay, it's in my lashes, so we're going to pat it down with the warmth of my finger, and I do see some in my lashes, so we're going to get it out. Wow, that color is so pretty. Can you see that? Oh. Okay, now we're going to wipe it away again, and the brush is barely touching my skin, okay, barely. We're going to wipe those eyelashes, too. Alright, so I can see that I need to get a little more color added to this side. This side's more pigmented than the other. So we're going to pick up a little more. And the other thing I noticed you can do is if you pick it up, okay, it's on the brush, right? But it's going to flake off. Pat it. It comes with these little things. If you pat the brush onto this, it kind of molds into the brush even more, and it's less fallout too. I'm assuming you could also pat it into the back of your hand too, but I don't need glitter on me for miles ahead either. Or miles. I meant head to foot. Lord, I need to get some sleep. Y'all, I have no grandkids. I know. You know, the funny thing is that I always say I need a break. What is it with kids? I always say I need a break, right? I just need 5 minutes to myself. Which we all do, indeed. Let's go into Edward now, which is this shade right here. And I'm just going to put it on the inner corner. And when I say I need a break, and I do, then when they're gone, for like even 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Where are they at? Why is it quiet? It's the craziest thing. Of course, then they come back, and I'm like, I need a break. Guess that's kids for you. But I know I've made my fair share of mistakes with children, right? With my kids. So I know how quick time can go. So for the two older ones, the girls, I'm like, just give them to me. I'll take them. Doesn't matter. Just give them to me. And the boy I will be like that with. It's just that I know this sounds a little bit selfish maybe, but like I have to have my sleep. I have to. It's not a want anymore. It's almost like it's a need. Like my body, it has to have it. You know what I mean? And I just can't. Like, and even though I did keep him Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they got him around 4ish or so. 4, yeah. So about 3 days, 3 full days. And I was ready. Even though that boy slept through the night. He's great. He's needy, but he's great. But I know how time, forever young. I know how quick it flies. And like each of these grandkids just come at them. Even though like you wish your kids would wait a little while for having kids, it's like they kind of came at the perfect time for me, because like the first grandbaby came right as my last baby, my daughter, went to when she was going to pre-K, and I didn't know what I was going to do with myself, because the last baby's leaving the nest for a little bit anyway. And I was just lost, because that's all I've known for the last, with her for the last when it was time, I guess it was about 8 years, maybe 7 years. I mean, she went when she was 5, but I was already staying home because of my oldest one, or my third child. But I worked a little bit with him when he was first born, and then I didn't work at all. So I would say I stayed home for about 7 years, but when she went off to pre-K, and then the grandbabies came just in time. And I've always said, like, once the kids, go to school, I want to work and stuff, and I do. Try to find a job that's going to work around you, though. That's a whole other ball game. And like, I don't even care what kind of work it is. I just wanted to get back out into, the world. But they came along right at the perfect time, because I didn't know what I was going to do, and I don't handle change well. I've just never been the type of person to handle change. And like, I like things, like I get used to certain things like the way they are, and I adapt and go about it. But then I'm like, but that's not the way it always was, so change had to have happened to get you where you are, but for whatever reason my head doesn't comprehend that when change actually happens, and I lose my mind if I don't have control. I think it's if I don't have control of the situation and change is happening. Like, there's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. It is what it is. I don't handle that kind of change well. We're going to use the Lash Clash for the top lashes. I did use the Tarte Fake Awake, the white one, the white liner for my waterline. I kind of wish now I would have went in. I wish I had a blue silver color, but I wish I would have went in with the silver. I think it's called Kicker, by Colourpop, but I forgot about it, and I had already applied the white. So I wish I had like a blue silver color though, like maybe a blue with silver specks, or silver with blue specks, something like that for this look. But I'm telling you, that lid shade is something else. Do I like it? No, I don't like the formula of it. No, I don't. But so far, the way it's wearing isn't bad, and I definitely love the sparkliness of it. Like, it is right up my alley. I keep looking at it in the mirror, and I'm like, oh yes, oh yes. We can be seen. Seen but not heard, right? I can be seen and heard at the same time. My face tells it all. I can't help it. And I have tried to like brace myself for stuff, but my face does say it all the time. And I don't mean for it For lips, I'm wearing the lip liner by Natasha Denona in Emily. And I really like that lip liner. I've been liking a lot of her lip liners. I got a whole bunch of them. But the lipstick I'm wearing is in Jennifer. And it's kind of nice. It's definitely on the more neutral type of look. Like, it's very, like, subdued. But it's really pretty. I really do like it. And that highlighter is just something else, too. We're going to use the Lancome for the lower lash line. I think that if you're into this kind of color story, you'll like this palette. The formula is good. It's all about if you like the color story. It's definitely cool toned, which seems to be on trend with everything too, technically. I do wonder why they brought it out like this. Like, I would assume this would have been around Hollywood, yeah. Halloween. Or the start of winter even. I could see it being launched. Because to me this is very wintry. You know what I mean? Maybe even a little bit fall due to the greens and the browns, but more so wintry because it's just so icy. But I don't know, let me know if you all got it or if you skipped it. I would say I could have skipped it and been happy. I could have. But I'm glad I didn't, in the aspect, like, I had the money, it wasn't going to kill me to get it type of thing, you know. But I definitely could have skipped it because if I was going to create this particular look, I mean, granted, it's not like all these shades are in the Chucky palette or the Jason palette or the Scream, but they're all very much cool toned. They're much darker and grungier than this one. This is definitely more mid-tone, so it doesn't go very dark, but it does go very light. So there's aspects of it I do like versus the others, but I would much prefer the others at the same time. But the price point, there is a little bit of a difference there. So let me know your thoughts on this palette, this collection. And I'm not a big on the lip oils and stuff, so I didn't get that. I don't know what else even launched with this collection, to be fair. But I definitely just got what I thought I would use. Now, the only other thing is I could have skipped on one of the highlighters. I don't think I needed them both. I think I could have just gotten Vampire Skin, because this is just the white to like a pinky color, it looks like. The Meadow, maybe even to like a green, or pink to a green even. But I also think it could be fun though. So, no, it's pink. Oh, it's pink. So, it's like an eyeshadow. This one is. I do love the feeling of these Super Shocks though. That's Meadow. I'll go ahead and show you Vampire Skin though. I'm sure you've already seen these though. I have no doubt that, like I said, this is not by no means a... Oh, yeah, that is silver. That's what I thought. So, Vampire Skin and Meadow. It really just depends on what you're going for. But I think I could have lived with just this one, technically, to be fair. But I got them both. I'm sure I'll use them. Have no doubt there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this collection. I'm curious. Did you get it the first time, second time, third time, or not at all? And then, what was your favorite part about it? Are you glad they even made a collection out of Twilight too? Like, I'm just curious. But, alright, I'm going to let you go. We'll get back to the alphabet. You know, picking up around from, I think we're into what? C, A, E, F. I think I'm up to G now. Y'all will get the videos as they come. I'm trying to stay ahead of the game a little bit. But yeah, you'll get them as they come. I will get the Natasha Denona video for the foundation out as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. I may just show it to you, like, go come on bare skin. Usually I don't do that because Lord knows these videos are long enough. Could you imagine if I did a full face? You better have a cup, a drink, snacks, dinner. You better have breakfast, lunch, and dinner laid out for you, because Lord knows how long it takes me to do stuff. But anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday, unless Thursday doing lunch. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.